But now you've decided that there is something you want to do.
Yeah, and it took me 8 months of gardening leave. It took me a visit to Ariana Huffington's place in 770 Broadway, Huffington Post. I met Ariana, chatted to her, said, let's bring HuffPost to South Africa. She said, wow, she loves that idea. Until she went back to her bosses at AOL, and we stacked very low on a list of her priorities. So she's done Japan, Spain, pretty much everywhere else that one day she might come here, but probably not with me. But I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot from her organization. Then I got to meet Clay Christensen, the father of disruption, and read all of his work, studied his stuff, and said, hang on, there's an opportunity here. So that's where I started BizNews in August last year. The development's been beyond my wildest dreams. We've had huge support from advertisers, and we've got a moat, and our moat is costs. We've done things differently. My costs now are 1/8 of what they were at MoneyWeb. I think we're producing better content than we were producing at MoneyWeb because we've got a different type of motivation.
How do you keep the costs down so low?
Well, you make partners of people. People are partners. What we did at MoneyWeb, it's almost like when I was in traditional media, that's where I was. Then MoneyWeb was here. HuffPost is probably there. But that's still long-term, not really sustainable. You have to find a model over here somewhere with the way that our industry is changing. And media is, you're going from analog dollars to digital pennies in your income streams. So it's not good enough just to stick around here. You have to look for something different. And the model we've got is a very, very different model. And it's one where we engage with partners who produce content, and then they pay, or they get paid for what they're producing, which was something I could never get right at MoneyWeb. I just couldn't find the right formula. But if you think of content in media, you start off with a full-time employee. It costs you about 3,000 Rand a story. Then a freelancer costs you about 2,000 Rand a story. And then you've got SAPA that costs you 30 Rand a story. And then you've got people who are prepared to write for free. So somewhere along that continuum is the happy medium. And we've moved more this way, whereas at MoneyWeb I was still more in the traditional mindset.
But good content must be key, and people must be paid for that.
And they are paid because they're paid as a percentage of what that content is generating. And they're taking a long-term bet on themselves rather than on some other product. So we've got really, really good writers who work with us who start off getting nothing, and then they get a few hundred Rand, and then a few thousand Rand, and then tens of thousands of Rands, and hey presto, it's better than working for somebody else. You can do it at the time that you are in a better state of mind to write, to produce content, and also, again, gets back to that entrepreneurial thing. If you're an entrepreneur, you look for better ways of serving your market. Now, in our industry, we've never served our market in media. It's been a case of, I worked at a newspaper, I wrote a story, it appeared in the newspaper, we never knew if anyone ever actually read it. Online, you know at every instant how many people are reading it, why they're reading it, how long they're spending on it, and you can shape your product according to your market's needs. And that's been kind of a big eye-opener for me. I'm of the Warren Buffett view.
Persuasion.
Yeah. The retirement age at